What up, everybody? It's Aaron here with Robert, and welcome to Get Your Geek On's review of episode 3 of the new Disney Plus show, Moonknight.
Moonknight.
Yes.
We're here. Spoiler alert, obviously. We're gonna talk. We're halfway through the show now. This episode, as we kind of talked about last week, we get it more from Mark's perspective. The first two episodes were really from Steven's point of view. And we had those flashes where he would lose control of the body and then he would come back not knowing what happened. And so we kind of stuck with Steven. And at the end of episode 2, it kind of switched over to Mark being in control. And that's kind of where this episode mostly happens is Mark is in control and then he loses control and comes back and is like, what's happened? So I think we kind of saw that coming. At the end of this episode, Steven is back in control. But now, again, spoiler alert, we have lost Khonshu. We've lost our powers. So what did you think overall of this episode?
I thought it was really good. I mean, like we said, again, this is all spoilers. You've said in the comics, there's 3 personalities. And we've gotten hints now of a third personality because Mark blacks out and then kills these people or does something to these people and asks Steven, hey, what'd you do? And he's like, it wasn't me. And if this is on your conscience and your way of hiding it, don't blame me. So now we're getting that third personality coming out. And I like that we're getting hints, but no one knows who he is yet. And again, we're not sure if they're going to go with like this taxi cab driver personality, which I doubt it, because this one seems to be more of a killer than Mark even. So it makes me wonder, was Mark ever really a killer? Or is
I
this
think
personality going to be it?
We got some hints even in episode 2, I think, when Harrow was talking to Steven and was talking about like how brutal he was, and you had Mark kind of being like, that's not what, or I think it was the police officers who were saying like, oh, you're responsible for all these murders. And Mark was like, that's not what happened. And so it's like, it feels like maybe that was this other personality, maybe even the guy who asked the woman on the date in episode 1 at the museum, that might have been this other personality. We don't know. Because Mark seems pretty hung up on Layla. And then, I mean, we see in this episode before that happens, when Mark is first fighting them, the one guy is a teenager, like a kid, and we can see the first time he kind of comes in contact with him, he makes a choice very clearly not to, kind of really engage him. He kind of just like, I don't want to fight you. Like, I don't want to fight a kid.
It's kind of like just pushes him off every time the kid attacks him.
Yeah, and so you can see that he does appear at least to have some sort of moral code where he's not necessarily gonna take it that far.
Right.
And then we've already seen Steven, and so I'm very confident he's not the one murdering people. So yeah, I think we definitely do have a third personality in play that is maybe Khonshu is aware of this third personality, and is using him for his purposes, or maybe even Khonshu doesn't know about this other personality. I don't know.
I mean,
definitely that's the brutal one.
Yeah, I'm gonna be shocked on that. But again, it kind of makes what we've seen in the comics happen, where Steven's now going to be more of the taxi driver kind of personality. Maybe Mark's going to become more of the billionaire playboy kind of personality. Yet he does kill. So, I mean, there's nothing saying that he can't.
Yeah.
But, I mean, we've seen him with the money. We've seen him have these guns, these little safe houses, kind of like Punisher almost. Like, I have money stored here. And maybe this third personality is the cold-blooded, I don't mind killing people, and I'll do it because you guys can't do it. Again, like you said, there's a child involved. Maybe the third personality just doesn't care about that. He has no morals.
Right. Yeah.
So I'm interested in that part. And like you said, though, at the end, we get Khonshu coming out and sacrificing himself essentially to help Steven and the girl, I can't remember her name all of a sudden. Layla, to find out where this hidden tomb is of another god, another Greek god, or I'm sorry, Egyptian god.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I think I really appreciated in this episode, we got more depth with Khonshu, and F. Murray Abraham, is voicing an Oscar winner. F. Murray Abraham, he's great. And it's one of those things where, I think we felt like the menace of him, whether he's like threatening Mark with using Layla as the avatar. Right. We've gotten some of like the almost like the exasperation and humor is he's like, oh, the idiot's in charge, or like, oh,
Right.
here it comes. But this one, we really sense his sadness and his grief, and like that moment where he's like, I remember that night. I remember all the nights. It just really, like, that really hit home for me, is like, this is a guy, a god who has been banished from, all the people that he cares about. Like, he's been, and like, so he's been isolated and alone for thousands of years. And just like living with that, it really came through in the performance, and I really appreciated that, because I think at the end of like episode 2, like, Khonshu's a jerk. Like, we don't like Khonshu. And in this one, I'm not saying that like all of a sudden I'm on Team Khonshu, but there's depth to him, and I appreciate that. And then getting introduced to the other avatars and the other gods, I thought that was interesting. And that kind of scene where they were in the temple, and now Oscar Isaac is playing another character. Like, we've already seen him play two different, Stephen and Mark. We think at some point he's going to play this other personality that we'll see, but now he's also played Khonshu, as like Khonshu is channeling his voice through him. And so Oscar Isaac is just doing all kinds of work on this. He needs
a freaking some kind of award for this performance. I'm sorry, he's nailing every personality so far for me.
It's been really good. And I thought the action in this was a little bit hit or miss for me. I think the rooftop hand-to-hand fight had a couple of moments where it was like, why, like where like all of a sudden it was like he would have a one-on-one face-off with a guy, and it's like the other two guys weren't knocked out. Like, why are they just like, where did they go? What's going on?
Yeah.
So there were a few kind of wonky moments with that fight. But I really liked the fight at the end, where Layla got her like solo fight with the one guy. That was cool, where she like took her necklace off.
Right.
And then like Moonknight, I liked when Steven like took control, and he's like Mr. Knight, and he's like, guys, just like let's chill or whatever. And he gets stabbed. He's like, take the body, Mark, take the body.
He tried so hard to be peaceful with them. He tried so hard.
That was fun. And it was just kind of a fun action scene that felt like it ended a little bit abruptly, and I wonder if that was an editing choice that was made later on, because the main actor, and I can't remember the character's name, but it's Gaspard Ulliel. This is the actor that passed away, that we talked about just a few months ago from that skiing accident, and he was like the antiquities guy, the main guy that they met, and he kind of like is galloping off screen and gets hit with like a moonerang kind of thing, and we hear him kind of react, but it's kind of left in doubt what happens to him, and then it just kind of cuts, like they leave.
I wonder if you're right.
Yeah, it feels like maybe there was more there, more of a standoff or something like that, but it just didn't leave a satisfying ending for that character. And so I did wonder about that. But obviously we talked about it when he passed, but now seeing him in the show, I'm very like, I mean, obviously it's sad because he lost his life, but it's also, I thought he did a really good job in the show. And so I would have enjoyed seeing him again if we got that opportunity. Obviously, at this point, we don't know. He could still show up in later episodes, although I'm guessing not, because they did put the tribute on this episode, like in memory of, and you would kind of think, I mean, they could do it if he showed up in another episode. They could do it on that one too. But it just kind of feels like this is probably his one and only appearance in the show.
Yeah, which is sad. I mean, like you said, they kind of left it open, like maybe he didn't die, but then it's like, oh yeah, we abruptly cut, and we just kind of assume at that point you killed him, like he's dead. We're just not gonna talk about this character. We're gonna move on. And that's a sad thing. I mean, because you can't really move forward with them anymore. But you never know. I mean, maybe like you said, we'll get one more little snippet of him, which would be cool, but I don't think so. The Avatar thing was cool. I agree with you on that one. Seeing all the new avatars coming out, and how Marvel's handling the Egyptian gods and what they're up to, and kind of like why they haven't been around, because like they said, they forgot about us. We don't care anymore. And that was an interesting take. And again, I agree with you on the fight scenes. They did shy away, I feel like, though, a lot of times, except the one with the knife, where he basically wakes up again, the knife's already in the guy. but they did shy away from all the blood. Like again, we see two bodies that are just late, or the one body's already laying there. He already mutilated him, and then the other boy's crawling. And when he's trying to torture him, it's like, hold him over the ledge, he'll talk. Nope, he's just gonna cut the rope and fall to his death. I mean, we're not even gonna see that either. So I am kind of sad that, again, Moonknight, like we keep talking about, is supposed to be a gruesome fighter, doesn't mind murdering people, doesn't mind taking them out. Yes, we get the fight scene towards the end where, like you said, she stabs the like bodyguard, and then he gets stabbed multiple times by like spears, and
but he's wearing the Moonknight suit where there's no blood coming through. Although then he kind of turns that around. He stabs a couple people. There is a little blood. He throws his Moonerang things, and he kills a few people. But it doesn't feel any more graphic than anything else we've seen in Marvel. Now we've got 2 more episodes, and we haven't had an episode, or 3 more episodes, and we haven't had an episode from the perspective of this brutal killer. So maybe if we get that episode, we'll see some of this brutality, but at this point we haven't really seen it. The one thing before we kind of leave off that I wanted to ask you about is, how are you feeling, because we did get some backstory and a little bit more with Layla in this episode. So how are you feeling about that character? Are you connecting to her? Are you enjoying her? What's going on?
I'm enjoying her, but I'm not connected yet. I'm still like okay, you're here, but you're kind of useless to me, but kind of not. Like, you're easily able to talk Mark into doing things, obviously, because she finally, towards the end of the episode, she, after like bugging him, like, we need Steven, talk to Steven. Okay, give him the body. Okay, now, and he was kind of listening before that, because he was like, let me have a conversation with him and let me talk. I think she's going to be the one that pushes him where he needs to go. But I'm starting to wonder if she's like a sleeper agent. Either she's working for Ethan Hawke's character or working for somebody else, because it's one of those, why you came back just to sign these divorce papers, really? Like, I don't know, something doesn't fit right in my head.
In the opening, she does drop that like Steven was only living 20 minutes away from where they had previously lived. So I got the feeling like she's been in London this whole time, where he was, and just they didn't necessarily cross paths. I don't think she has any sort of darker or nefarious purpose. I think she is on Mark's side, and I will say that I am appreciating the way she's standing up to Mark, and just kind of like, you know what, I'm not here for you. I'm not here for Khonshu. I'm here to help people. Like, that's what I care about. And she kind of, even appeals to our that guy that they end up fighting at the end, where she's like, he's gonna kill millions, and it's like, this guy doesn't care. Like, what are you talking about? Like, so but I kind of I appreciated that. I'm loving what Ethan Hawke is doing.
Gosh, yes.
And just the way he kind of flips that whole scene where he's being called forth, and it's just masterful defense, is just switch the perspective. He's just like, we're not here to talk about me. We're here to talk about Khonshu, who is that guy you banished a long time ago. He sucks. You already know that. And this guy, he didn't even know who he is. Like, let's talk about that. And he just totally shifts the conversation just perfectly. And and then I did think it was a little bit odd that the avatar of one of the other gods then let him in to the temple there to kind of talk to Khonshu. And it was one of those things where I'm like, okay, so is this guy in on it? Like, is he working with Ethan Hawke's character to release Amit? That there was a little bit of I don't know what's going on with this guy. It is, it does kind of look like the other Egyptian god. I can't remember which one it is.
I think it was Ra, wasn't it? Or
I can't remember. No, I don't think Ra was in this one.
Oh, I see it in my head. Not Osiris. It's Osiris? No.
Well, there's Osiris and there's Isis and there's Horus, and I don't remember, but I'm talking about the one that is on Khonshu's side as well.
Oh, the girl.
The girl. I can't remember the name of that god either.
I want to say it's with an A too, and I can't remember.
Yeah, it might be. But I kind of like that there appears to be some kind of division within those characters as well, those gods as well. And I mean, we've got 3 episodes left. Khonshu's now been imprisoned. it looks like Harrow is, like, yes, they found the location of Amit's tomb. Steven and Layla did, and they're gonna rush right there. But it certainly seems like Amit is gonna get free. Like we're gonna have some sort of confrontation with Amit, and obviously Khonshu is gonna be involved, and the other gods, are gonna maybe have to pick a side, and we'll kind of see what happens after that. So, we got 3 episodes left.
Yep.
I think that I've been enjoying it so far.
Oh yeah.
There's only one more episode that's been released to critics. So after this week, everyone will be on the same page. And apparently there is a big twist in episode 4. That's what's been kind of
and like Shyamalan comes out
said from some critic reviews, people that have actually seen episode 4. I don't know what that would be, and I don't necessarily want to speculate on it because I don't want to spoil it for anyone.
Right.
But just I guess be prepared for some kind of big twist. In
I'm going to spoil it. M. Night Shyamalan comes out. He's like, "What a twist!" And then he just walks off.
Yeah, M. Night Shyamalan just comes out and says, "It's the modern age, and the trees are killing everyone."
Right, and then just walks away. Oh, and by the way, there's some aliens that can't do well with water.
And Moonknight's been dead the whole time.
So you've been seeing a dead guy. She sees dead people, guys.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Oh, and also this guy has unbreakable skin, but he can be drowned.
Oh yeah, but Ethan Hawke's character, he's made of glass too. Like he's not that strong.
Well, he walks around with glass in his shoes.
Oh yeah, exactly.
So yeah,
that makes sense. That's
gonna be the I don't know how this turned into M. Night Shyamalan. Like we're just talking about his entire filmography, but
and that's how it happens. That's gonna be Moonknight. It's gonna be.
It is like he did do that movie Split, which has like the guy with 24 personalities, and now here's Moonknight with like
that. It would make sense. He comes out and he's like, "You got 3. This guy got 24."
Yeah, that's weak sauce, man. Let's go get some more personalities up in here.
Let me help you out here. Let me give you 21 more directions to go with.
So we gotta punch this up. We gotta get a little bit more.
Got to go to 12. Set that dial. So on that note, guys, let us know what you think so far of Moonknight. I know we've been enjoying it and laughing about it. Again, I'm excited to see where it's going to go. Is it going to lead straight into something with Doctor Strange? Is there a coincidence that they're ending right before the start of Doctor Strange? I want to know what everybody thinks. So comment down below and definitely follow us on all of our handles at official GYGO on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, TikTok, all that stuff. We're everywhere. So go check all those out. Check out our podcasts, High Five, Gaming Geek, Talking Geek, all that stuff. And on that note, I'm Aaron. And that's Robert. And this was Get Your Geek On. Stay geeky and get your geek on.
Bye.